Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day's going wonderful. I'm so glad you're joining me. We have a card kit here. This is the SSS December 2025 card kit. It's called Bright Christmas. On the 14th, SSS releases their card kit. And on the 17th, they begin shipping out to everybody. And so it's perfect time for the holiday season. It is a Christmas themed kit. And I'm super excited. I get to share with you the contents, and then we're going to make some projects using it. Okay, I took everything out of the box and out of the bag, like usual. And first off, we get a 6x8 stamp set that has these two large images. They're a little bit over 3 inches by 3 inches. This one has a cute little reindeer. This one has a cute little winter village. Love that. And at first glance, I thought maybe the smaller images would fit and stamp inside of these, but they don't. The only one that does is this little moon. I think the moon will line up with this moon here. But all of these are accent images. So this is, I'm pretty sure Simon will have a coordinating die set that if you want to accent the bottom or the corner of these little items are perfect for that, because you can have some ornaments hanging from the reindeer antlers, or you can add some holly to the little corner of the Christmas village. Super fun. So this is our stamp set, the Bright Christmas stamp set. There's also great items in here to create tags. I say that because you have a gift for, and then you also have to and from. So of course on the reverse side of a tag, that's what you would put. And so I think this is pretty great. To go with this, Simon included in our kit a 3x3 stencil. This is the Bright Christmas Rooftops stencil, and what this does is it's meant to layer over the rooftops. So if you want to use some texture paste and go over it, you can create some dimensional rooftops on this image here. So I thought that was really neat. And speaking of reindeer texture paste, the opaque matte's my favorite. And guess what? Simon Says Stamp included a small 1-ounce jar of the texture paste. There's a lot in here. This will last you for many cards. And I just love this. So you can stencil directly over those rooftops with this, and have some nice dimensional bright rooftops. And I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have some chunky glitter, throw it on top of the texture paste and press it in. You have to press it in. And then you can have some glittery rooftops. So that's included in our kit too. How fun is that? So stamped, stencil, and opaque matte texture paste. Also included are 3 sheets of cardstock. These are 8.5 by 11 sheets. And we have Nina Desert Storm, we have Simon Says Stamp Ivory, and then we also have Rainbow Splash Emerald. Don't you just love the color palette? It's kind of regal, and I like that. So those are included. Put these to the side. There's a die set included, and you're going to love this because it's kind of a loaded die set. It's filled with lots of goodies. This is the Pine and Post gift card envelope. So you have the base that creates an envelope, or not necessarily an envelope, but you could put, definitely a gift card will fit in there. But I like to create pockets on my cards that you could add a little extra note to, so that you could do that with this pocket. There's also adornments for the gift card holder, but the adornments are universal. You have a postage edge stamp that's layering. You have some berries that's layering too. You also have some stars in different sizes. There's a cute little pine needle. There's a tag. The tag's special because it looks like it has a window in it, but it's not. What it is it's debossed detail. So when you die cut out this little rounded top tag, there is a little debossed plate, well, you can kind of see what it looks like here on the tag. There's also a little reinforcement for it. Then you get 2 long lines in different sizes that you can create a faux string or ribbon on your gift card holder, but it's great for regular card bases too. And then you also have the bow. There's a die that is a rounded corner that you can add a layer on top of the backside of your gift card holder. So this is a very universal die set. lots in here. And let me tell you how many dies are in here. There's 11 dies in here. So Simon included 11 die set, 11 piece die set, which I just love. So that is pretty awesome. We're using this on our cards today. But wait, there's more. Now I fell in love with these pattern papers. There's 24 of these pattern papers. I'm not going to go through them all, but they are fabulous. They are 6x5s, and they're from Tim Holtz Ideology Christmas Backdrops. Love them. So a lot of them have a distressed look to them. Couple crackle pages, paint crackles, brick, lots of plaids, florals, Christmas florals, I'll call them. There's polka dots, stripes. I mean, there is just a rainbow, and guess what? They're double-sided. How fun is this? I love this one. I think that's a pretty cool pattern. I love the color of this. So 24 sheets, 5x6, and super fun pattern papers. There's also a sticker book. Love these sticker books. You just peel and stick and you're good to go. Lots of Christmas elements for scrapbooking, for Christmas cards, for gift card holders. There's 4 sheets, 5. I would say there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets in the neutrals. Okay, so those probably go with everything. You get a sheet of labels, and then you also get a sheet of borders. And these borders, I think, will match the papers. They match the papers, I would say, pretty closely. I thought I saw a poinsettia sheet in here. You can see they kind of match the patterns pretty closely. Not to a T, like this is more white than this. This has more of a beigey tint. And then, of course, this has an off-white. This is white. But I think you can get away with coordinating some of the pattern papers with the borders. And then we get 2 sheets, a red and a green, of Christmas elements, Christmas words, sentiments. Jingle all the way, 'tis the season to be jolly. They're both the same, just different colors, which is nice. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Just peel and stick. You can't get easier than that. And then what I love is that we get some nostalgic stickers. I think these are fabulous. You know what these remind me of? They are vintage looking and they are nostalgic looking. When I was little, I remember going to my aunt's house, and when she would bring out her Christmas stuff, she'd have a little box of stickers. But back then, the stickers were lick and stick. They weren't peel and stick back in the day. I can't believe I just said back in the day. But they were. I still have. I got to keep. I actually have those stickers. So after she passed away, every time I have them in my Christmas stuff now, and every time I bring them out, I'm just amazed by the nostalgic look of them, and that's what these remind me of. So how fun are those? Now, if you run out of Christmas tags, Tim got you covered because you have some Christmas tags. But you know what? These are nice for too. Not only can you add them to gifts as Christmas labels or tags, these are great return address labels. You could put your return address here and have a decorated Christmas return label, which I will probably do this year because I ran out of my pre-printed Christmas labels. So not only do they have good for Christmas presents, but Christmas mailing too. So that is included, a whole bunch in this little sticker book. Okay, and then, but wait, we have one more thing, and I think you guys are going to fall in love with it. This is the Positively Perfect Gold Splatter Medium. Simon came out with the white splatter medium, and now they came out with the gold. And right now, it looks like it's a champagne gold, but what you really want to do is shake it up really good. And then once you shake it up, the gold doesn't separate as much, and you can see it went from a champagne to a more of an orangey gold. The neat thing about this splatter is I did open it up. Yours will come sealed, but I did open mine up and I was playing with it for a little bit. Now, after you shake it up or stir it up really, really well, if you do your splattering, you can get the champagne look, okay? But if you shake it up really well and do some splattering and then heat set it, you get a completely different look. I mean, you get a darker, more shiny, goldy look just by heat setting it. How cool is that? So, so if you air dry it, you get a more champagne-y, soft look. Heat setting it will really bring out that gold shimmer. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you can actually get two different looks. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but two different looks with the splatter. But make sure you definitely should want to shake and stir it really, really well to get its full effect. But it's pretty awesome. So I'm super excited to give this a go for our card projects. So that is everything that is in our kit this month. This is a pretty fully loaded kit. We're going to make some card projects. I'm going to figure out what we're going to do, and I'll be right back. I thought for all of my cards today, we are going to make some gift card holders with vellum. So for my first card, I'll show you how we're going to create that gift card. And then for the other 3 cards that we're going to make the same pocket, just to save a little bit of time. So I will run this through my die cut machine, and I'll be right back. Now, I think any kind of vellum that you have would work. The vellum that I'm using is from Simon Says Stamp, and it's a heavier weight vellum. If you want a lighter weight vellum, Spellbinders has a great vellum too that's thinner. But I think for these pockets, any vellum you have would work. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. So you can see that there are score marks, which makes it so easy for folding. And we're just going to line these up, give it a press. I don't even have to use my bone folder because of the heavier weight vellum, but you can if you want to. I mean, this is cute for jewelry, for trinkets. I think this is fabulous. Okay, so now as far as glue goes, I'm just going to use my Simon Says Stamp Positively Perfect Craft Glue. This is going to show up because it is vellum, but I don't think it's that big of a deal because we're going to decorate the front. A really thin bead here at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to fold in one side. I'm doing the right side. We'll fold in the right side, let it grab, and then I'm going to add a little thin bead of glue. Ooh, and that's not thin. I'm actually going to wipe some of this away. The thinner, the better. You don't want a big old glob. But then, and I need to add okay, and then we'll fold over the left side. And again, the thinner the better. Any oozing out, you just want to pick up with a towel. But it's really not that noticeable. Let me show you. Really not too noticeable. You just add your gift card here. And how cute is that? So much fun. Ideally, you'd want to decorate the back side of the gift card, but today we're going to decorate the front side, okay? So I'm not going to close it, and I like that there's a little flap here. Another thing before we jump in with our card is I want to share with you a fun thing that you could do. We're not going to do this on any of our cards, but this bag from our kit was just sitting on my desk, and I thought we could actually die cut out 2 of the bags here. Okay, of course you would toss this, but you can create fun little bags too. I thought this would be so cute. You have the fold lines, and no time you can make a cute little bag with the bag that your kit comes in. Let me show you. Flip this over. You can close the bag any way you want. for this one, I'm just going to fold it like this. And look at, you turn that big bag into a small little bag. So much fun. That's a cute little gift card holder in itself. And of course, if you do it, you can die cut it out twice and create some extra little gift bags. So fun. So that's an option too. I love to share with you guys options. That's how my brain works. So with that, we are going to jump in and create a card. We're going to do a little bit more die cutting. I'm taking some of the green cardstock that was in our kit. Okay, and then there's a pine needle in our die set. I'm going to die cut out the pine needle probably 6 or 7 times. And then I'm bringing in some red cardstock from my stash. And I'm going to die cut out the bow. Okay, and also the stars with the red cardstock. I'll do a couple sets of stars, 1 bow, quite a few pine cones, and I will be right back. With these, I thought we would make a little wreath. And so to help keep my wreath round, you could use 2 circle dies and create a small circle frame. But just because I want to go fast, I'm going to use some of my circle punches. This is a 3/4 inch punch. I'm just going to punch out a circle here. And then I'm going to take a 1-inch punch. That's why I like having my little punches in my stash. They're good for so many things. I'm just going to add glue all around it. This is going to help keep my wreath a wreath. And we'll add I just put 4, and then I'm going to place this on the front of my envelope here, just centering the bow. For my card base, I have this pattern paper. We're going to trim this down to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And then I'm also going to take this piece and we're going to trim this down. I'm going to trim down just this number section here. This panel directly on our card base. And then I'm going to take this one. Oh, I really like the back too. We are going to add some glue behind here. Put this over here. And I think I'm going to bring in some of this plaid. We're going to put this straight up and down in the center, but I think I'm going to add some with the extra number piece. Actually, do we have 25? With this leftover piece, I am going to trim out the 2. And I'm also going to trim out the 5. Okay, and then I'm going to trim out some of the plaid here. So I'll put this in my paper trimmer. Let's trim down a little plaid piece. Maybe a 1-inch piece. Here. Okay. Okay, and then we are going to layer this over here. I went ahead and popped up my 25 and placed them on my envelope. And before we go any further, I'm going to bring in my splatter box. We're going to add some gold splatter. You know, I think I'm actually going to splatter both of these. Okay, and we got it all shook up, which is really good. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And then just using a paintbrush, I'm going to add some splatter to my background here. Wonderful. And then I'm going to use my heat gun. With this gold splatter, it actually gets more brighter when you heat set it. So I'm going to bring in my heat gun. And we're going to go ahead and dry this. Okay, we are all dry. I went ahead and put some adhesive behind my envelope, and we're going to layer this in the center. I want my wreath to be kind of create like a belt effect. So we'll make sure this is centered here. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas from our sticker book. It's the very first page that says here. And I'm going to add Merry Christmas. For finishing touches, I think I need to bring in some glossy accents. So I'm going to bring in my glossy accents, and we're going to go over those stars. And that will finish off my first card. Maybe we'll straighten this out. I went outside the lines with my glossy accents, so I'm just going to clean it up with my craft tool here. And that will finish off my first card. Okay, we're going to jump into our next card. And for our next card, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. In our stamp set, we have this pretty little reindeer. So I'm stamping that directly on some craft cardstock. This is the Nina cardstock that came with our kit. And I'm going to stamp it not with black ink, but with a gray ink. I'm using my Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Charcoal ink. Something a little different, because you know I like to think outside the box. What I'm going to do is take my scissors and I'm going to fussy cut out my deer. And the nice thing is the black outline, you don't have to be perfect with your fussy cutting. I want to go around the antlers also, just so we have the deer. So our deer's cut out, so cute. And using the gray, it kind of matches the paper, and that's what I really wanted. Speaking of the paper, I took the rounded rectangle die that goes to the front of our gift card holder, and I die cut out a panel with that, with the music note cardstock. Okay, this is going to go directly inside of our gift card holder, kind of replacing it. I have a 1-inch strip of the polka dot pattern paper. And then I'm going to probably use this strip here from our previous card. And then I have this pattern paper, which we're going to trim down to a card front panel. With this pattern paper, there's some poinsettias on here. I'm going to fussy cut these out also. We're going to actually use these. I'm going to cut out 2 flowers. And the thing with this is that it doesn't have to be perfect here. I'm just looking for the red poinsettia, bringing a little extra red in here. So I have 2 flowers that we fussy cut out. Okay, let's take this and put this on the front of our card base. Let's do some gold splattering on the front of our deer and also on the front of our pattern paper here. So the gold settled again. So you got to shake it up really good. You could stir it also. Wonderful. I'm actually going to use a little bit, where's my flowers? I'm going to bring in my flowers and maybe add a little gold to the center here of those poinsettias. Just with a little extra that's left over on my paintbrush. Okay, now I'm going to set these aside to dry. I'm going to add a little glue to this strip here. And then we're going to layer our polka dot right below it. Okay, and then I'm going to add this at a diagonal towards the bottom of my envelope, using it as a guide. And then I'm going to take my deer, I'm going to add a little bit of glue down here on the bottom. And I'm going to attach our deer to that pattern paper. I'm going to take our envelope and I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. Our vellum envelope is going to go off to the right here. And then with our deer, I wanted it a diagonal, but I do want dimension, so I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape. Now I used this greeting from our sticker book, okay? And I am going to add some dimension with this. So one more layer, I'm going to put some foam tape behind here. Okay, so that will be our greeting. And then we have our flowers. I'm going to put some foam tape behind here. And we're going to do a little tucking with this. Now I'm going to bring in my white gel pen and I'm going to add some white to my deer's eyes. I think that's just going to pull them together. And then I'm also going to bring in some of my Simon Says Stamp Moonshine sequins. And we are going to add a little bit of sparkle. And I think I'm going to bring in some gold glitter for the center of my poinsettias. I'm going to add a little extra sparkle to my poinsettia flowers. We have the gold splatter in there, but I wanted a little extra dimension. Okay. And that finishes that card. For my next card, I used this pattern paper, and I created an A2 panel and just went ahead and put it on front of my card base. Love these poinsettias, they're just so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to be using this pattern paper. That's the reverse side. And I'm going to add a little bit of a torn edge on the top. So I'm just going to tear it here. And I think, well, we're just going to trim away what's overhanging. The reverse side has a whole bunch of the holly on it. Okay, this is just going to go tack down here. We'll bring some extra green down to the bottom. Now we're going to doctor up our vellum envelope. So I die cut out the strings and the bow with some red cardstock. So we have 3 branches in total. Okay, and then we're going to do something a little bit special with the tags. I cut out 2 tags from our die set with our ivory cardstock. Now in our sticker book, we have some of the vintage style Christmas tags, and I just love these. So I thought we would add Yuletide greetings, but I'm going to put some foam tape behind here. Okay, and then I'll add a little glue. And we're going to layer these right over those tags. So cute. I did die cut out some reinforcements with craft cardstock. So we're going to add these. They just fit beautifully. Okay? And while we have our sticker book out too, we have some stripes in here. I thought we would add some stripes to our background also. I'm going to use this plaid stripe border here, and we'll add this. I think I'm going to add some of the houndstooth also. I put adhesive behind our little Christmas tags. And rather than putting the bow in the center on here, I thought maybe we'd cut out one more bow and put it on the end of the tag. We'll add another one here. There we go. I'm going to flip my envelope over and I'm going to put some foam tape behind here. We will tack this down here on this side. Now I went ahead and die cut out my postage stamp with some craft cardstock because I think this section looks a little bit empty. And then I'm I'm going to take the inside piece of our postage stamp, and in our sticker sheet there are some stickers that are vintage, and I thought I could cut out an image. What I'm going to do is take the inside of my postage stamp, and I'm going to cut out this little doggy that's holding the sign that says greetings. Okay. And then using the die, I'm going to cut this out. Sticker and all. I'll be right back. Now technically, I removed the backing off of the sticker, but I do want to mention, technically this sticker is just a hair larger. Look at, just a hair larger than the die. So you really don't even need to cut this out. You can just put some foam behind it and layer it directly on the postage part. Let me show you. You could probably get away with just adhering it without die cutting it. We'll just create a little postage stamp like so. And I'm going to add some more glue behind here. And then I can add this. This section up here just seemed a little bit empty. So I thought maybe we could fill it in with the postage stamp. There we go. And then I'm going to add some glue behind my berries. We're going to add our berry branch here. Maybe one up here. We'll just do a little tucking with it. And maybe one down here on the bottom. My glossy accents, and I'm going to go over those berry branches, adding a little dimension. And then I'm also going to bring back some of my moonshine sequins, and we're going to add a few here and there also. Now the glossy accents, right now it looks cloudy, but it will dry clear and give me a little bit of dimension to those holly branches or berry branches. But that is my card project for today. Actually, let's take a look at all 3 cards that we made. Using some Vellum gift card holders. This one I actually added a few extra sequins to. I thought it was missing a little extra something. But great little gift card holders. Let me grab a gift card and we'll see how they look. All you have to do is add your little gift, slide it right in there. How fun is that? I have another one here. You can just add, well, they work perfectly and they don't take away from the design, I don't think. You can even add a little bit. Let's see if I can find another one. Some super fun Vellum gift card holders. This one here, you can actually go behind that music note paper or in front of it. You can actually have them both kind of sticking out if you want. So there's options there. So much fun. I love this kit this month. Love the pattern papers. The stamp set's amazing. So many goodies to play with. I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration for each of my cards. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.